Okay. What is going on, YouTube? It is a beautiful Saturday night. As we've said many times on the stream before, who doesn't love Saturday night football? It's been a minute. Normally we stream on Thursdays, but there is no Thursday game. Almost streamed the Tony the Tiger Kellogg Bowl or whatever the hell it's called, but we'll get into the why that didn't go pretty soon. But yeah, just gonna let some people file in here real quick. What is up? Happy Saturday, everybody. It's a good Saturday to be alive. You know, unless you're Bryce Young, but that's neither here nor there. Got the stream pulled up on another tab. Drop a like if you haven't already, because a football shows up when you do. All right. We had a couple of games. I'm going to be wiping my nose because if you can't tell, I'm sick. Brutally stout Seattle defense. We got Eric here first. Eric, I'm not here to dunk on the 49ers. I'll be completely candid with you. I know many 49er fans, some of which I love, some of which I despise. But Eric, you're a hell of a guy, and I'm not going to dunk on your team here. I think what you said is perfectly straight. Perfectly honest, perfectly straightforward. There we go. Brutally stout Seattle defense. What a game this was if you like seeing incomplete passes, if you like seeing runs that go nowhere, if you like seeing play calls that are completely answered by the defensive side. To be honest, I have more to say about the other game that was today, and to be honest, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to do this. If you can't tell, I'm very sick. Very sick. Hayes already calling it. Yeah, Hawks were just better. Today's been awful. That's Hayes calling it. We got Crafty Southpaw here. What's up, guys? Again, drop a like if you haven't already. A little football pops up. But proud of my Niners. Excellent Hawks team. I really hope Purdy's okay. That being said, if we get Mac Jones playoff games, would that really be the worst thing ever? Okay, let's go through my notes on this one. Spoiler, there aren't many, because the Seahawks just ran the ball the whole game very effectively. 39 carries, 180 yards, a touchdown, and Sam Darnold didn't exactly jump off the page with an exciting performance, but he got the job done. And to be honest, out of all four quarterbacks that played today, Sam Darnold was far and away the best. You could argue Baker and escaping the pocket is all fun and go Baker, yeah. Sam Darnold looked the most poised, looked the most confident, and that's not to say that running the football won't do that for a quarterback. I think that's just a natural byproduct of a quarterback that has a great run game and a great defense. How could you not play with confidence? Well, you should ask Bryce Young, because Bryce Young doesn't play with confidence at all. Hawks and Jags are the most well-rounded teams in each conference. I don't hate that take. I really don't hate that take. And if we can get more games like this from Seattle, no one's going to beat them. No one's going to beat them. If this defense is going to have a vice grip on the offenses they go against, especially at teams like Philly, who if you stop Philly a couple times, they're dead in the water. Other teams that they could shut down. The Packers. Malik Willis is fun, but let's be honest here. The Bears are, again, Bears, fun idea. I think the Seahawks played the Bears already, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that. I want to see. Just because I'm curious how that matchup will look if it hasn't already. It hasn't happened, so we'll find out. Man, it is satisfying seeing a clean slate of games just done. Okay, the football season is great, but it is so nice just seeing a full 17. Purdy had 3 defenders in his lap the whole night. That's what I mean. It's easy to dunk on Purdy, but to be honest, I didn't think he played like awful. He certainly didn't rise above controversy, but Brock Purdy's a guy who many people have criticized as being a system QB by every metric of the term. But to be honest, after that Bears game, it's kind of tough to hate on Purdy. Nice dude. I hope his thumb's okay. I'm glad that he didn't blow out his knee on that last drive. If you didn't watch the game, you didn't miss much. But on the last drive, the last throw Purdy made, I believe, he got cracked by both sides. Pause, but he got ran through in both sides. I can't. Purdy got sacked on the left side and the right side. All right, it didn't look pretty. It didn't look pretty, but he's good. Okay. Hay loves Purdy. Myers tries to sell the game. That was funny. A 27-yard doink off the upright. Not what I expected, especially some guy who's been as consistent as Jason Myers. Hunna's number one pick is the number one team in the NFL. Hawks have not played the Bears. That is right. I am the front runner among all front runners. Yo, Sam Darnold and the Seahawks an apology. I do. This team is good. I said, if you guys are new to the stream, I said before the season started, I had 2 takes that I was kind of kidding about, kind of not. One of them was that the Titans would lose every single game. And while they didn't, I feel pretty vindicated that the Titans are the worst roster in the NFL. That I will say. They didn't lose every game, but Come on. My second take was that the Seattle Seahawks would have the #1 pick in the draft. How is that going to happen if the Titans lose every game? I didn't think that far into the future. I was clearly wrong about the Seahawks, and I can own that, and I can recognize that. I appreciate you, Otis, keeping me accountable. Hawks just need to hope someone picks off the Rams for them. I agree. But again, who knows? Seattle just beat the Rams. And Seattle's going to be playing at home. You do not want to go into Seattle in January. That's just not a fun bid. It's not good. I mean, look at these last games for Seattle. Again, when you're 14-3, you're not going to have a ton of losses. But look at this heater they've been on. And these aren't just snoozer teams either. These are playoff squads. The Jags, the Texans, I was going to say the Cardinals, imagine. The Rams, the Colts were... I mean, okay, the list kind of trailed off. But you know what I mean? These are not bad teams. And I said, going into this stretch of games, we're going to find out what the Seattle team's really made out of. They won all three. So let me pull up my notes. No, it's the Chiefs. Seattle's so good. I think the offense might have some questions, but they're a great team. Purdy didn't play poorly. I completely agree. Seattle's really good. Seattle's built a hell of a squad, and they deserve all the credit. They've stayed marginally healthy. They had some scares throughout the season. I think Eamon Wari missed a couple of games. Witherspoon missed a couple of games, but they were able to right the ship, get healthy at the perfect time. And to be honest with you guys, half the time making the Super Bowl just goes to the healthiest team. It sounds reductive, especially because, sports stories. It's fun. Let the best team win. Most of the time in the NFL, 11 positions on offense, 11 positions on defense. The healthiest team usually gets the furthest. And that's why depth matters so much. And that's why Philly was able to just run through the NFC and the Chiefs last year. I'm going to try my absolute best to not cough too much here. I'm sick. I said it before. I'll say it again. I am sick. And that is why I didn't stream on Wednesday. Wanted to stream the Tony the Tiger Bowl, but I felt like death. Good news is I still feel like death. Let's see. Amazing, the best defense of the past 3 weeks was held to just a field goal. Yeah. Best offense. Jeez. Best offense was held to just a field goal. Yeah. Agreed. And I think that just, again, goes to show, if you watch the game, it wasn't like Brock Purdy wasn't playing well. Like we've said this before, but it wasn't like Brock Purdy was missing guys. If anything, honestly, the run game let Brock down. Again, 120 yards is 120 yards. That's not great. It's on 3 sacks, too. He had no time. They could get nothing going on the ground. And I think that's a pretty easy formula to stop the Niners. You shut down the running game, you win. That's it. Niners giving up on 3rd and infinity. The red zone pick by Purdy were the 2 most crucial plays of the game. Completely agree. We'll talk about those now, yeah, because those are really, really impactful plays that did happen. One of which, again, I'm assuming you guys saw it, but red zone try. The Niners had one good offensive drive, and realistically, if they scored here, we could have had a whole different game. I'll pull up the play-by-play. Right here. They're finally moving the ball down. Chunk play, a run for more than a yard. There was a point going into the third quarter where the 49ers were averaging, I think, about 3.4 yards a play. That's unheard of bad. That's like, that means you're getting a 4th down every set of downs. That's insane. Okay, so they finally move the ball. They get down to the red zone. Looks like they're for sure going to score 1st and goal from the 9. Shout out 9. And Purdy picked. Wasn't on Purdy. I mean, the ball was tipped, so in a way it's kind of on him, but McCaffrey lost it, and then it was a bad play. And I'm blanking on the fella's name who caught it. It was Thomas, obviously, Drake Thomas. So if you play, I was going to make a fantasy joke. I'm too tired to make a defensive player's fantasy joke. The NFC will destroy the AFC team this year. I mean, yeah, probably. I don't really think any team in the AFC, especially not the stupid Broncos, can compete with the Seattle team. I don't think they can compete with the Rams. I do agree. It sucks to say. I would love a great Super Bowl matchup. It's going to be tough. Hannah, have you drank OJ? I don't have it. But if I do, I'll hop in my white Bronco and go to the grocery store and get some. You like him better? Wait, what did I miss here? Sam Darnold. I missed this. Sam Darnold is the best Seahawks quarterback of all time. Can't think of anyone close. Matt Hasselbeck and Russ. Russ for sure. The interception was unfortunate. It landed better than Gino. Yeah, Gino. That's the one. Gino's awesome. He's looked really good this year. The interception was unfortunate. Landed in CMC's hand. No run game. It's all on the QB. I mean, yeah, totally. That's, I mean, I'm assuming there's some sarcasm in there, but yeah, exactly. No run game, just bad luck. Clearly the Niners are playing dinged up. Let me pull up my notes. And again, I have more to say about Panthers Bucks because I actually have a little bit of a fiery take to have about Panthers Bucks. McCaffrey getting shut down was huge. Exactly. Brock tried his best, but it wasn't enough. Not the first time, but here we are. MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year. It's all Drake May. Yeah, Drake May is the Rookie of the Year. Anyways, good for Seattle. Really stings the Niners fan, but the Hawks are great. I get that. And I appreciated Juwan Jennings' effort. That's one thing you got to say. It looked like that both teams came to play. It was 13-3. It was a defensive game, and if you watch it on TV, you didn't have fun. Both teams came to play. Okay, Seahawks ran the damn ball. John Snyder was sweating like crazy. Oh my God. I don't know if you guys saw that or not. He went for a high five and you could see the whole Mediterranean Sea underneath his arm. It was gross, but whatever. I'm not one to not sweat, so I'm not going to blame the guy. I just, you know, deodorant's not that expensive. But John Snyder, he deserves a victory lap more than anyone. In the offseason, I was certain this Seahawks thing wouldn't work. I was certain. You signed Sam Darnold to a team with not a great offensive line, and your plan is to just draft a guard out of North Dakota State, Gray Zabel, and that's going to fix everything? Yeah, basically, that basically fixed everything. I didn't think the Seahawks team was going to be good, much less best in the NFC, much less best in the NFL. So the Seahawks get their victory lap. I don't think any Seahawks fans have ever joined this chat, but if they do, or if you're there, congratulations. I like how we're ignoring the Bucks-Panthers game, not saying that we should. It's funny, nothing burger. We'll get to Bucks-Panthers. And if you can't tell by my million coughs, this will not be a longer stream. Also, before I get into Panthers Bucks, I have a pretty hefty reveal here. I'm gonna turn the music off for a second here. Okay, as you guys know, the hair's gotten a little crazy over the past, I don't know, 4 months this season. So I got a haircut. And let me tell you something. It doesn't look great because my hood was on and I've been sick all day. Let me tell you something about this haircut. I don't love it. Okay, no one's gonna die. It'll grow back. Here's what I will say about this haircut. I go in on December 30th, okay, day before New Year's, to get my haircut. Mainly because I was gonna go on a date that night, and I didn't want to look like, you know, the Sasquatch man. So I get this haircut. I go in there. My normal barber is out. My other barber, my alt barber, the reliever barber, he was there, but he was booked through the day. Because he's a good barber. He does a good job, clearly. Again, not the guy that cut my hair. You know what? You guys saw it. I'm going to finish this. What a stud. I love it, man. Thanks. Zabel can play. Thanks, John. Zabel can play the guard. Jets and Vikes currently thinking, oh, man, if only we had a quarterback like Darnold. Yeah, exactly. Looks sharp. Thanks, Eric. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys gassing up the haircut. Let me explain, though, what happened here. So I go in. My alt barber is booked through the day. So I'm going to the other guy. And like, whatever. This guy's a grown-ass man. He said he's been cutting hair for 20 years. Whatever. It's hair. How hard could it be, right? If you've been doing something for 20 years... I'm gonna trust you to do it. I sit down and I tell this guy, I tell every barber the same thing, not too short. And I recognize what does that do? What does not too short even mean to someone that doesn't know me? What does that even mean? I couldn't answer it. Yet I still felt like he understood what I said. He was like, I got it. Not too short. I got it. Okay. I sit down in the chair. This is a long story. I sit down in the chair. And you know when you're getting a haircut and there's just that one cut. If you have shorter hair, maybe not. But if you have longer hair, there's that one cut and you're like, yep, that just buried me. That just got me. You're looking in the mirror, you see it, and you're like, yep, that's too much. But I'm in too deep now. The hair's gone. I'm not going to complain. And right when he did that, I looked onto his little barber stand thing and I see a mostly drank glass of white wine next to a mostly drank bottle of, I think, tequila. And then I realized my barber reeked of booze. That's right. On December 30th, 2025, I got a haircut and the dude was drunk. He was drunk cutting my hair. And I didn't realize until it was too late. Of course he had openings. The dude's hammered. It was 2:00 in the afternoon. Of course he's got time. He's been boozing all day. He probably barely even expected to cut hair at all. So now I'm recognizing that I'm getting my hair cut by, you know, a belligerent barber, as they say. And I'm not panicking, but I'm not thrilled about it. I'm not thrilled about it. And, you know, and then he just continues to cut. It never ends. And then here we are. So it's too short. I hate it. Of course, it's a little more flat because I've been wearing a hood and I've been sweating like a hog all day because, again, sick. But yeah, that's the story of how I got butchered by my barber. Thanks, James. He's just trying to survive the holidays. I get that, but don't come into work. Don't cut it too short. If I liked the haircut, it would be different. Funniest thing about this whole interaction, this guy's drunk. I don't like the haircut. Whatever. Life goes on. I've had a million bad haircuts in my life. He says, hey man, I'm opening up my own shop, my own practice. I'm just handing out my business cards. Let me take down your phone number. When I open it up, I'll get you a 10% discount. 10%, you say? So I'm saving $3 on a $30 haircut from a drunk barber? Oh yeah, sign me up. Are you kidding me? This dude gave me his business card. Belligerent drunk. And thought that I would be like, well, I'll give him another shot. Maybe I'll catch him on a Tuesday. Maybe he won't be hammered. Anyways, so that's the story of how I got a haircut and then got sick within the last 3 days. The 2026 has been very kind to Hunnaball. And not here to complain. Life goes on. It's a funny couple of things that happened. No, man, you look good. Thank you, guys. I'm not doing this for validation. I just more so think the story of the drunk barber, you know, David the drunk, his name was David. David the drunk barber is something I needed to share on stream. And another lesson learned, never get a haircut when your hair's long, never get a haircut the day of a date. I had no confidence and it ended up going well. You know, she's actually a Niners fan herself, the girl I went on a date with. So she's actually a Niners fan herself. So I texted her about the game. She has not responded, so maybe she ghosted me. But that's how I met your barber. You gotta believe in the business. Give it a shot. Yeah, I will. I'll give it a shot, man. Can I grab some scissors myself and start cutting hair? Shit, it can't be that hard. Anyways, so yeah, I went on a date also. That went well. We're gonna talk about football. I just wanted to throw that in there. If you don't like it, just wear a beanie. Been doing that. Here's the problem, right? I've been wearing a beanie, okay? Here's the thing. Short hair or not, I don't love it. If I put on a hat, I look like a dweeb. Look at this. Hey guys, let's go watch some football. Go Giants. Come on. Can't do that. Can't wear a regular just baseball cap. Because these, you know, Dumbo ears I got on me. So anyways, enough of me talking about my appearance. Let's talk about Panthers Bucks. Because this game, I've got a lot to say. It's funny. Talking through that, I feel like I don't even have to cough anymore. I just feel like we got things to say. So there it is. So drop a like if you haven't already. I got a haircut, and that's a bummer in my book. If you don't like it, just wear a beanie. When I was a kid, this barber was fresh out of jail. He just cut my hair, destroy my hairline. No, wear it backwards, bro. I don't think that's gonna fly. I don't think that's gonna fly. Again, you can style it a little bit, but I don't. Should I just go like this for the rest of the stream? I don't think that's gonna work. But we'll stick with it. Panthers were robbed. You look like Brock Purdy. I know I do. I know I look like Brock Purdy. Drop a like if you haven't already for Brock Purdy. But anyways, okay, enough of me fishing for compliments here. Let's talk about Panthers Bucks. I actually have a lot to say about this one. But one thing, just to again, I forgot to mention this. This is the last thing I want to say about Niners Seahawks. I'm not a sports bettor. Okay, the thing is, the Niners are kind of suffering. Not even suffering. I think this is a lesson for all. Sorry, I think this is a lesson for all of us. Because one thing I've noticed a lot through this year is the way primetime kind of affects lines and how we see teams. For example, we just got the Niners beating the Colts by a healthy margin, by the way, on Monday Night Football. Then we got them beating the Bears on Sunday Night Football. That's two nationally televised games that more or less everyone watched. So in theory, the public is going to bet more Niners because they look good in prime time. So, lesson learned. If you're a sports bettor out there, hedge the prime times, the teams that have done well on prime time the last couple weeks. For some reason, the NFL likes to double dip these teams. There might be a little money laundering going on there. But yeah, that's the last thing I want to say about that. Let's talk about Panthers Bucks. Worst game of the season. Panthers, the fumbled 2.0 Glock Purdy. But guys, today was awesome. I'm glad you had a good day, James. I got to be one on my house's roof. I don't know what that means, but I'll take it. By the way, if you want to participate in the Madden Online, yes, the Otis has been running the Madden Online again. That's not going to be for a few weeks, but yes, the Madden Online League is the wheels are moving. Props to Darnold for redeeming himself after the end of last season. That's right. Sam Darnold's not been a guy who's played well under high stakes, and he proved that narrative wrong tonight, and I think that was really cool. Shout out to Sam Darnold. Okay, let's talk about Panthers Bucks. I got a lot to say about this one. I keep saying that, but I really do mean it. First of all, people say with sports, you got to have heart. You got to have, that little unspoken quality, that intangible trait of just wanting it more. We learned it from sports movies. They're going to remember the Titans today. We learned it from sports movies and all the, whatever, adjacent football and just general sports media, that you got to have heart. But real sports fans recognize it's a professional league. Heart, what is heart? How do you quantify heart? How do you quantify effort, right? Everybody's trying. Everybody's making millions of dollars. Everybody's a world-class athlete. Sometimes heart doesn't matter at all. But today in Tampa Bay, Florida, heart was all that mattered. And I'll tell you what, it didn't show up for either side. Neither of these teams looked like they wanted to play. And I get it. It was raining like I've never seen before. A monsoon coming down on the field. Today I'm sorry you had a bad day. Hey, props to Darnold for redeeming himself after the end of last season. Said that. Didn't see any of Bucks Panthers game, but the fact that we could have a three-way tie is so weird. That would be nuts. That would be nuts. Go Falcons. Rise up. A couple games different, and then Falcons are back. Falcons and Saints NFC South mini championship game will be cinema. Oh, I'm watching that one for sure, unless it's at the early morning, but we'll get to that later. But what I was saying, I completely got off tangent here. The point is that neither of these teams wanted to play. At least it didn't feel like that. And it just felt like no one wanted to tackle. And I get it. Again, the ball's slick, but just dumb mistakes, no effort on either side. And ball slipping out of people's hands. And it just, every completion felt like a miracle. And again, I understand that weather's a factor, but man, no one looked like they wanted to be out there, man. One of my notes was just screw both these teams. Screw them both. This game was considerably worse than Niners Seahawks. Because Niners Seahawks felt like two defenses playing their hearts out. This game felt like this season's a disaster. So if we lose, whatever. That's how this game felt. And it's not just a Panthers thing or a Bucks thing. It's a both sides thing. Like Baker Mayfield rolled out of the pocket a couple times. And I'm not going to say that Baker Mayfield didn't try. Obviously, there was effort there, I guess, on Baker's side. But Tampa's defense, Carolina's just entire team, particularly the Carolina defensive line. Baker was sacked twice. Didn't feel like it. Really didn't feel like it. The amount of times Baker was able to scramble out of the pocket and break free because the Panthers defensive linemen are jogging to him. I wasn't there. I recognize running in the rain is tough. These are professional athletes and they're jogging to try and get a sack in a playoff entry game. It drove me up the wall. You know what else drove me up the wall? Bryce Young. Okay, look. I'm not a overt Bryce Young hater. I have no narrative against him. I don't have any Brock Purdy. I don't have any Bryce Young puts, if you will. However, watching this guy play, it's just the thing about Bryce Young, far and away, I don't care about stats, far and away, the worst quarterback of today, at least from what I saw on tape, the game. Because he didn't, every time he completes a pass, it feels like a miracle. Dude, this guy has no poise in the pocket. None at all. They scored 14 points, and it felt like it. I was shocked they got that far. And I will say, the Panthers got completely gypped on a couple of calls. I got to recognize that. But my main takeaway is not we got to move off Bryce Young. Bryce Young's a failure. What I will say is Dave Canales, who was woefully outcoached today, by the way. The Buccaneers were playing a low-high scheme for most of the game, it felt like, where they stacked the defensive line and then gave cushion in the secondary. And the Panthers just had no answer. They had no answer for most of the game. I know Bryce Young had 266 yards, and I know they didn't get much on the ground. 19 yards. Another person who gets the LVP, Chuba Hubbard. Chuba Hubbard's walking out there. I know the weather sucked, but the effort for both these teams grossed me out. And to be honest with you, I know we can't do this. Bounce them both, scratch the NFC South, and just put the stupid Lions in at this point. Just put the damn Lions in. If we're going to be sitting here watching Bryce Young tiptoe into every single pass, it's frustrating to watch. And like, again, this might be a hot take, and I get like ripping on a quarterback is easy to do when they lose, but Bryce Young just really upset me tonight because I just really wanted to see him play well. He's a nice dude. He's a good story. He's overcome a lot, but he's sitting back in there in the pocket, and the game still looks too fast for him in year 3. In year 3, what? Bryce Young had a couple good games this year? What? He put 450 on the Falcons? Congratulations, Bryce. That was before the Falcons became red hot. Going into next season, one of the things I will write down is avoid all Panthers, which is funny because Rico Dowdle and T-Mac really got me far this year. But to be honest with you, I just couldn't watch Bryce Young for another game. I'm glad it's over. And whether or not the Panthers make the playoffs is another thing. I'm not against the Panthers. If anything, I like the team. I've been rooting for them most of the year. But sitting through today made me really realize that watching Bryce Young sucks. You know what else sucks? The officiating in this game. The officiating in this game was absolutely outrageous. Here are some things that happened in the third quarter. Again, if you didn't watch the game. Bryce Young throws a backwards pass to Rico Dowdle, who also didn't look good. Throws a backwards pass to Rico Dowdle, who drops it very clearly backwards, and the refs call it dead. Here's the thing about that. The refs called it an incomplete pass, very clearly backwards, so the Panthers just ate those yards. They didn't actually get to advance it after Rico Dowdle picked up the ball because the whistle was blown. Totally missed call. The refs were clearly apologizing afterwards, apologizing to Bryce Young and the rest of the Panthers staff for the just straight up miss. Another thing that happened, and this will become one of my bigger pet peeves this season, when a player's helmet gets ripped off, I got news for you. There was hands to the face. Probably a face mask, but at the bare minimum, hands to the face. The refs missed one of those on a kickoff. Another thing, Tetero McMillan. Finally, Bryce Young connects with Tetero deep, and they call offensive PI because T-Mac had a little hand fighting within the 5-yard marker. And the last thing, there was another just ridiculous defensive PI on the Panthers. So the Panthers really did get kicked in the teeth with penalties today. You know what else I didn't care for? Adam Chase, who the hell is Adam Chase? Adam Chase, ESPN's alternative rules analyst, gaslighting everybody watching. It's like, no, there's contact there. That's a flag. You hear him and Orlovsky arguing on the broadcast, which, by the way, I've been complaining a lot tonight. Orlovsky, Riddick, and Chris Fowler are a really good broadcast team, and I would like to see them replace Joe and Tony, really soon. I'm sick of Troy Aikman and Joe Buck. Did I say Tony? I'm really sick of those two. They're fine, whatever, better than Al Michaels. Orlovsky and Riddick are just such a better crew. They're way more analytical. They're way more critical of the game in front of us. I don't know why more commentators are so, careless, so indifferent to the game in front of them. Orlovsky and Riddick were calling it. It's like, these are bad calls. These are just straight up bad calls, not only from the officials, but also from the Panthers offense, and frankly, from the Bucks offense too. No team looked good, honestly. I missed a lot of the chat, so if I don't read a message or two, that's my bad. Okay, didn't see any of Bucks Panthers. Yeah, Baker's locked in. He's hated his life for the last month or so. Yeah, he's looked like he has. He has, because, it's just, they can't get anything to go. And Baker's Baker. We love Baker. We always will, but I just didn't care for the performance Tampa put out. Rain or not, neither team came to play. The only positive aspect Panthers Bucks that wasn't the Ravens-Steelers game. Yeah, we'll talk about that. That'll be really fun. I can't wait. I've been trying to tell you guys about Bryce Young. I know it sucks. It sucks. We gotta own that. Both these games sucked. Agreed. One of the Panthers touchdowns came as a result of a Baker deep pick in his own territory. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. If that didn't happen, Carolina for sure wouldn't have scored in the first half, and as it looks, they wouldn't have scored in the first 3 quarters. NFC South will probably flip next year as Falcons, Saints, fringe playoff teams, Bucks, Panthers fall off. I tend to agree. I lean to agree. I think on Sunday we're going to see the future of this division, and whether or not that's Michael Penix, that's a different problem for a different day. But Tyler Shuck and the Saints and the Falcons will probably be continuing upwards. Whereas the Panthers, if Bryce Young's going to look this timid in year 3, he plays small. It's just not going to be fun. Panthers get Jameis or they get Malik Willis. I don't think the Panthers have the stones to do that. That's the problem. We've talked about it, but it's very tough to replace. They're all here, right? including Bo Nix. It's very tough to, move laterally with your quarterback and expect anything good to happen, but I don't disagree with the fact that Bryce Young's not the long-term answer. I don't want to overreact, but it just kind of feels like he doesn't, this is the #1 pick of the draft, and he plays with less confidence than Brock Purdy, And again, it can't go without saying, the Panthers' offensive line did not look good. That low-high set that the Bucs ran a lot of the time, it really stifled the Panthers' offense. Even though Bryce wasn't sacked, the Panthers' offensive line did not look good at all. But I think Bryce Young not getting sacked is more indicative of anything else. He played like he was bracing for the sack every single time he dropped back. We had a thing where Orlovsky and Riddick are talking about how they prefer Bryce Young under center instead of shotgun. This is the #1 pick of the draft. I get that there's preferences, but this is the #1 pick of the draft. And we don't trust him in shotgun in his 3rd season with all the weapons. Again, the offensive line wasn't great, but with all the weapons they have, 2 startable running backs, a top 10 wide receiver, Jalen Coker, who's really come on at the end of the year, another 1st-round wide receiver in Leggett, who's not awesome, but whatever. Okay, Jimmy Horn Jr., Mitch Evans, these are all guys, okay? So my body's really mad at me for that rant. Let me read what you guys are saying, because I gotta shut the hell up. Did he fully extend? Ref screwed the Panthers on that whistle. Completely agree. Did he fully extend his arm? Daddle had room to run after picking the backwards pass. Completely agree. I know I'm behind, but yes, completely agree. Did he fully extend his arm? I'm not sure. I'm not sure what we mean by that, but yes, probably. Put the Lions in knockoff sucks, but the Saints in, they'll absolutely gonna run. Maybe. I don't know where Hank's been, but yeah, put the Saints in. Why not? I feel like Troy's been better the last 2 weeks. Troy Aikman? Yeah, probably. Again, they're excited because the season's ending. Troy Aikman and Joe Buck, I don't know them. I don't know their values or what's going on in their heads. This whole season, and we've been watching a lot of football, this whole season, Troy Aikman and Joe Buck have been checked out, and they just want the game to end. That's how it feels. And I get that. Sometimes I stream and I'm like, man, I'm tired. But man, if you don't want to do it, this is ESPN Monday Night Football. You could just give the reins to someone else, Troy. Joe. I get they have families, but I think they're good. I feel like they're good on money. Joe Buck's been commentating games for 50 years. Troy Aikman was a Hall of Fame quarterback. I'm not trying to pocket watch. I'm just saying, it's just a weird situation in ESPN. Anything Disney touches is gross. Hey, too much sauce. New to the chat, I think. What's up, man? And $2. I appreciate that. Sorry to jump the rest of you, but cash is cash. Who rips the football better, Purdy or Darnold? Tonight, Darnold. But I mean, Darnold. Again, you can see the list here. We got Purdy ahead of Darnold. That'll probably change. Tonight, Darnold looked better. That I will say. He had a much more comfortable situation. Let's go. The girl texted me. She said that was a tragic game. Let's go. Go Niners. But yeah, I think Sam Darnold's legit. And again, like I just said, he's had very easy circumstances, but he looks legit. He does. And I was thinking about it during the Seahawks-Niners game, not to completely change courses here, but $2 is $2. I was thinking about it during the Seahawks-Niners game, and I just thought, wow, what did the Seahawks do after Darnold? And then I thought, why do they have to do anything? Roll with Darnold. Duh. It just feels so jarring to admit that Sam Darnold is a quality, good starting quarterback. You know what I mean? It just feels weird. It just feels odd to me. But I appreciate the $2 too much sauce. Today I'm going with Darnold, but that's not a knock on Purdy. Purdy didn't play a perfect game, but I don't think Purdy's the issue in San Fran. I think they just got outplayed today, which is a bummer too, because the Niners are, they're relatively healthy. They're at least on the offensive side. They have most of their pieces. Ricky Pearsall didn't play, but I don't think that was much of a needle mover. They just got out coached. They got out rostered, and the Legion of Boom somehow has returned. Okay, again, I'm gonna speed run these chats because I hate being behind on the chat. Both these games sucked. I hate Orlovsky and the other guy. Said one good thing about Herbert and Chargers Raiders this year. Fair enough. The Seahawks remind me a lot of the Broncos. Neither team need their quarterback to play exceptional to win. I like that a lot. And I think if the Seahawks did play the Broncos, which yuck, but if that did happen, Seattle all the way. Roll Tide. Panthers running backs had an insanity run. They just need a wide receiver and a tight end. I think they've got enough wide receivers. Maybe a tight end would be cool, but if Bryce can't get him the football, what's the damn point? What's the damn point? Falcons Saints are really the best teams in the NFC South. They emerged too late. You could end the sentence at NFC. They're the best teams in football. Penix is the top 15 quarterback if he starts healing peptides, taking healing peptides and gets a competent OC. Maybe. Maybe, and I'll tell you what, Raheem Morris is staying. We're going to see another year of Raheem Morris. You can take that to the bank, and that's going to be exciting. Let's see what he does in year 3. I love Mike Penix. Mike Penix is so much more fun to say than Michael Penix. I'm gonna start going with that. Mike Penix, Dan Jones. It's just so much easier using the shorthand terms. But I love Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, one of my favorite broadcast crews. That's cool, Otis. Hey, you know what? Totally allowed to have that opinion. And if you prefer a more casual commentating crew, that's fine. It just feels like they've been checked out. There are certain games that I could pick out where it just felt like they were just kind of like, all right, let's wait for this one to end. Yeah, let's. Like, for example, and again, there have been some real snoozes on Monday Night Football, so let's not, I don't want to completely rip on the guys, but where is it? Can I, oh God, I know there's a way to, there it is. Certain games, they felt super checked out. Okay, which ones? Cincinnati, Denver. I don't blame them for this one, but I've never heard worse commentating in my life. Okay, what other games were they like pretty checked out on? Houston, Seattle, which again, could be a Super Bowl preview, but then that game was boring. But they were checked out. Washington, KC, super checked out. Dallas, Arizona, obviously they weren't checked out because Dallas is the team for those guys. What else? Dallas, Vegas. Yeah, they again big homers for the Cowboys, but whatever. Giants, New England, can't blame them. But you know how it goes. And then Miami, Pittsburgh. I still can't believe that game happened on prime time. So I guess that's just my little mini rant. Again, it's not even more of a knock on them. I'm not saying they need to retire. I'm just saying if they don't want to commentate games, no one's got a gun to their head. At least as far as I know. Jimmy Horn Jr. will be a top wide receiver. Trust Fluke's in his arm because that's how you identify OPI from hand fighting. You know, that's where it gets a little subjective. Hey, whether or not he fully extended his arm, he kind of just swam moved him. It didn't look to me like he fully extended his arm. The Adam Chase, our rules analyst, the alt rules analyst, quote unquote, said he fully extended. I didn't see it. It very much looked ticky tack to me, especially within 5. I don't like that call at all, especially on a big play. Joe Buck is good, but I think Troy Aikman seems uncomfortable. You can see his eyes flicking around and stuff. Yeah, no, I completely agree. I blame Canales more than Bryce. His play calling is timid. Panthers don't even throw it deep unless their backs are against the wall and they're chasing it work, so why not use it? Very true. Very true. It's easy to rip on Bryce, and believe me, we have. I completely agree. The spotlight also has to go on Canales here. Canales got, like I said, woefully outcoached by Todd Bowles. They had no answer to the Bucs defense, and that's why the Bucs won. Plain and simple. Plain as day. Seahawks have Jalen Milroe behind Darnold too. Well, I'm not going to hold my breath about that, but hey, maybe trade Jalen Milroe to another QB needy team. Maybe send Jalen Milroe to the Raiders. Let's see how that works. No, the Raiders are going to get their guy. Hope Milroe's good, man. Don't we all? Darnold learned his lesson with Niners and Vikes. He's, you know, the career trajectory that Sam Darnold has gone through is one that needs to be studied. The ultimate journeyman. But he just went through and just gathered information from each house, each team, just stopping by, just picking little things from each team. The Vikings, the Niners, the Panthers even, I guess. I assume he just spaced on the Jets. But yeah, no, it's an interesting career trajectory because Sam Darnold's not old. He feels old because he was drafted in Saquon's class. I don't know why I clicked on scores there. Oh, I know why I clicked on scores. I'm so out of it tonight, fellas. My body is so mad at me. But let's look at Sam Darnold's age really quick, and I'm sure there's an easier way to do this, but Sam Darnold's 28 as a quarterback. Phillip Rivers he played Phillip Rivers like a few weeks ago. He was well into his 40s. Not saying Sam Darnold's going to play into his 40s, but like he's got time. Very well could build a franchise around Sam Darnold, and I don't think he's going to fetch a top contract either. I think this might be the future of NFL team building, provided the Seahawks actually go on a run here. If the Seahawks win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold, we will see a complete shift in the necessity of the quarterback position. Milroe would be so awesome to watch. Penix becomes the new if man. Yeah, that spot will always be reserved for Herbert. And I don't know why I don't have a specific if man tier for Herbert, but yes, and Jalen Hurts, honestly. I don't know if Blake's still in here, but I had to. If only Milroe could throw the ball and read. If only. I also just have zero faith in Alabama quarterbacks, but that's a personal preference. Guys, the like works. It turned into a football. It never works for Hannah for some reason. No, it works. If you drop a like, it turns into a football. So be sure to drop a like. Funny thing about Monday Night Football is why do they have to have two of the oldest commentators staying up late for primetime? That's what I mean. That's another reason. These guys are staying up past their bedtime. Troy and Joe, I don't know why that's so tough to remember, but Troy and Joe normally are doing the 420, 425 in Dallas. That's what they were used to on Fox. Now they're doing prime time, and I think the age is catching up to them. Same goes for Al Michaels, but That's someone who needs to retire pronto. I'm not looking forward to any more games on Prime, strictly because of Al Michaels. I thought there was a mutual contract there. Within, like, between Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. It's possible. Actually, I should look that up. Let's look that up real quick. And again, I know I'm behind on the chat, but, you know, we'll get there. We'll get there. The best typer in YouTube has returned. Okay. 5-year deals in early 2020. Okay, so that's what's happening. They got to finish out their contracts. Well, I get that. I get that. So we're going to see them, what, through next year? Is that it? Through next year? Again, they're making a lot of money. You could pack a Red Bull. You know what I mean? Like, they're paid pretty well, all things considered. So it's their contract. I guess I was a little too quick to judge. But 5 plus 2 is 7, 2027. We'll see if that means 2027 season or 2027 year. But either way, I feel like there's definitely outs on that contract, and we'll see how that pans out. Sam Darnold's low-key the modern Rich Gannon, but less good. I like that. I gotta know. I don't know much about Rich Gannon. I know he was a Raiders QB who was fine, but that's not bad. That's not bad. I think Milrose for when the Hawks Spidey senses tingling note and they're gonna get washed and trade Darnold. Hey man, if the Darnold thing falls apart and Milrose good, the Seahawks will be one of the best teams in football for the next decade. Speaking of age, I forgot Jameis only 30. That's crazy. I didn't know he was only 30. That's nuts. Jim Plunkett and Doug Williams had similar career paths on their way to winning Super Bowls. Shout out Doug Williams. 4 touchdowns in 1 quarter. What a guy. And Jim Plunkett was cool too, but Doug Williams, yeah. Miro's going to be mid. Jalen Hurts is if Justin Herbert, if all the things his fan says he needs. Yeah, Jalen Hurts and Justin Herbert are just, the bizarro versions of each other, where Jalen Hurts has all the help and Justin Herbert has all the tangible talent. He's 6'6", he's got big hands. Like, what does that mean? He doesn't win games. You know what I mean? Not saying size doesn't matter, as we just saw with Bryce Young. Rich Gannon's a legend. You don't know ball. I started watching football in 2012. I know he exists. Okay. I know he exists. I know he's never won a Super Bowl. Okay. So legend. Okay. 100 mil just to talk. Yeah, seriously. Especially to be yawning on mic. And like cracking jokes. I got zero faith in Bama, Ohio State, Ole Miss quarterback, sometimes Georgia. Well, I got news for you. There's an Ole Miss quarterback that's going to be a beast in the NFL. And his name's Trinidad Chambliss. This guy's fun, man. He had a hell of a game. Again, I did watch the last quarter of Ole Miss, Georgia. What a game. I was certain Ole Miss was going to blow it. They didn't. Goes to show what I know about college. Jack squat. Contact. Did I say wait. I thought there was a mutual wait, what did I miss then? I see, with the with the pass interference. Yeah, there was mutual contact. I agree with you. My bad. I'm glad we looked up the contract though. Herbert, top 5 believer, and I have to catch myself every often talking about him. Got to refuse. He's playing incredibly, even without an offensive line. You got to reword it. You got to speak in active voice if you're talking about Justin Herbert. My favorite Rich Gannon fact is that he was an all-state as a QB and punter in high school. Wow. I've punted once in a organized setting, and it didn't go far at all. More or less lost the team for my game on a punt. Lost the game for my team on a punt. Like I said, I'm sick. How tall is Baker? He looks similar to Bryce, but he's built better. Baker, we're going to do a guess here. And again, these numbers are so wrong. We've talked about it 100 times. Baker's for sure bigger than Bryce. I want to say Baker's 220. 5'11", and then Bryce Young. I know Bryce Young's measurements on ESPN. He's 5'11", 204, which I'm not buying for 1 second. Baker Mayfield, 6'1", 215. 6'1"? I haven't met Baker Mayfield. He doesn't look like he's 6'1". I believe 215. Again, I haven't met the guy, but that seems a little rich, to be honest with you. Well, I should look up their combine measurements, but Bryce Young, it's 5'10". Oh, geez. Maybe Baker's not that short. Maybe Bryce just made him look tall. But, yeah, 204. Yeah, right. 204. Yeah, totally. I totally agree. Super Bowl MVP, all I gotta say. Herbert wins games. He's carrying his defeated offensive line barely. Okay, all right, hey. Let's not. Oh, Herbert. I thought you were talking about, I'm so all over. I think you meant Baker. Barely any wide receiver help. What do you, Lad McConkey? QJ was a first-round pick. What do you barely any wide receiver help? When his O-line was healthy, they didn't do anything. Injuries are a part of the game. if we're going to poke fun and blame injuries for everything that happens, the Giants should be a playoff team. I'll say it. All right. My head is killing me. We're gonna change the look. Better. Okay. My head was like pulling on this. This hat's way too tight. This hat's way too tight. We're rolling with it though. Trinidad Chambliss, while his name's pretty cool, he's probably gonna get picked in the 5th round. I should get D'Angelo Pons though. I don't know who D'Angelo Pons is, but I saw a tweet. I think it was Brett Coleman that said it. I very well could be wrong on that. But Trinidad Chambliss, QB3 in this next class. I'd rather have him than Ty Simpson. I'll say that. Not that I know much about anything. Cardinals fans want Trinidad. It's kind of funny to me. That was a perfect fit. I don't know the guy's measurements, but I'm gonna assume he's not too. I'm assuming he's an undersized mobile quarterback. 6'1". Look, you could take a shot. You can take a shot. Look, the thing about Kyler is that no one likes him. That's the sad reality of it. No one likes Kyler Murray. That's the bummer. Baker's 6'1" in the same way Manziel's 6 foot. Yeah, again, these measurements are probably a little juiced, if we're being honest. Herbert don't win playoff games. That's right. He doesn't win must win to enter the playoff games either. If you remember when Derek Carr outdueled him in overtime, what a game that was. Heights are always exaggerated. Agreed, but it is fun. I mean, heights, whatever. The Bryce Young being 204, that's what I don't believe. You lose weight throughout the season. I watched Bryce Young in week 1. He looked awful, by the way. Played the Jags. No way he's 204. If he's 204, I'm 350 anyway, which I might be, honestly, but that's neither here nor there. Some guys base heights off helmets and cleats. That's funny. That's funny. That should be illegal. Bro thinks Lad McConkey is helping. I'm dying. He was a 2nd round pick. He was a 1,000-yard wide receiver last year. What do you mean that's help? What do you mean? He has a great run game too. He's in a run heavy offense. What do you mean? Chambliss draft sucks all over the place. It goes from undrafted to where Dart went. Yeah, and we'll see it, man. A good combine and some good interviews. He very well could make his way into the 1st round. And drafting quarterbacks is just way more complex and way more random than most people think. I was going through a Giants subreddit. I don't want to talk about the Giants too much today, but I was going through a Giants subreddit. Isn't Dart good? Dart's sick. Oh, we all know Dart's good. We all know Dart's good. I was kind of throwing him under the bus there by talking about Trinidad, but Dart's the man. We love Dart. I just wanted to, make a little riff there. But what I wanted to say about the Giants really quick, and I'll get back to this chat catch-up I've been doing. Trinidad getting picked by the Giants and they trade Dart. Yeah, that's the kind of thing Giants Twitter would say. I was on Giants Reddit today, which is just never a good idea. And someone someone posted, I gotta use Reddit terms, the Giants should just, what's the big deal? They won a game. Now they're picking 2nd. Who cares? Basically. And I said that last week. I said, look, man, the 2nd pick, yeah, it would have been nice to have an extra 1st round, but it's not it's not going to change everything. The Giants having picked 29 and then taking some corner who might not even be good is not going to change the franchise. I understand value propositions and I recognize that having the number 1 pick is more valuable than having the 2nd pick. But I think a lot of Giants fans overreacted, and the responses I saw within this subreddit were just so disheartening. Giants fans, I love them, I am one, are the worst. It's never enough. It's never enough. Oh, we got the number 1 pick. That'll save us. Newsflash, Giants fans, we've been terrible for the last decade. I don't think 1 extra 1st round pick is going to change anything. You know what I mean? Who cares if the Jets trade the pick they got from the Colts? I get that would be more value. But to say that that's going to ruin our franchise because we don't have an extra 1st round pick drives me up the wall. And one of the other things I saw was someone saying, well, the QB class isn't even good. It's a weak QB class. I hate scouting in January. We have no idea how these combine interviews and just combine performances in general, how the draft season is going to go, pro days. There's so much that goes into draft season. I hate armchair scouts. I'm going to stop there before I get into another thing. You should get a bucket hat. Yes, I should. Donate so I can buy more hats, and then I'll wear them. I look so great in them, as you can see. Bryce probably drank a gallon of water before weighing in. Probably 8, honestly. Bryce Young's probably got a Toyota Camry worth of water in him, like a tank, water in him. If he's gonna be 204. QB's bulk or shed for the combine. Fun fact: once you get measured for the combine, your height and weight doesn't change on ESPN or anywhere. It's the same. Wow, that's a fun fact. Hey, it's a rare fun fact from Hey. Normally it's just chirping me. Honestly, Bryce, it isn't 200 if wet. Yeah, no, it's tough to believe. It's tough to believe. Stop respecting Herbo. He sucks. I will not tolerate Herbo respect. Believe me, neither will I. Neither will I. Herbert Love will result in an insta ban. Justin Herbert taller than UQB. Justin Herbert taller than most point guards. Okay, good for him. He's got big hands. You know what's not gonna be on that hand? A ring, because he can't win important games. But hey, you have Mendoza, my dude. There you go, Otis. What team do you even like? Hey bounces back and forth, but I think of Hey as an Eagles fan. So there you go. What do I mean by armchair scouts? I'm so glad you asked. An armchair scout. I take that term from armchair anthropologist, which I learned in my anthropology college class. Hey, basically it just means couch scouts, more or less. People who like watch a couple college games and think they have the whole draft class figured out because they read a CBS article. I say that following the draft is so fun. It's one of my favorite things to do. There's nothing wrong with following the draft. But I think overall, assessing a draft class in January as a fan, not an NFL scout, is just a little self-important. And I recognize what is a sports fan if they're not self-important? What is a sports fan if they don't want to validate their takes every single day? That's all we do. We make takes and then we defend the takes. It happens all the time. I'm doing it right now. Bryce Young sucks. But I just think it's funny when this like leapfrog scouting 3-4 months into the future, it's like, oh, well, that team's not going to want to pick that quarterback because he's not that good. We have no idea. I didn't even know Jackson Dart existed last December or January. I didn't even know the dude existed. And now I'm happy that he's a Giants quarterback. Another thing, this is a bad QB class. Whatever. One of the better QB classes, what was it? It had Bryce Young going first. Remember the Trey Lance class? Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Mac Jones? That was a great QB class. 4 quarterbacks, one of the top 10, I think. And nothing, it almost didn't pan out at all. Trevor's finally coming on, but outside of that, it's just straight misses. So Justin Fields, another just straight miss. He can't even throw the football forward. So I guess it's tough to say like, oh, this is a great QB class, or oh, this is an awful QB class. Hate when analysts do that. Because last year was a supposed terrible QB class, and there was no point in even bothering getting a guy. And now I think, look, say what you will about Cam Ward. He's fun and has talent, okay? Jackson Dart, again, say what you will about Jackson Dart. A lot of concussions. He's looked good this year. Most of the time, he's looked good this year. And I'll say it, Tyler Shuck, probable offensive rookie of the year. No one was excited about Tyler Shuck going into the draft, and I just think he's outproven a lot of guys that were blue chip quarterback prospects. So again, fan scouting, I get it, I do it, I love it. It's a little ridiculous. Herbert meat riders, man. Any excuses to book and make him feel like the golden boy of the NFL? Yes, yeah. Herbert catches a lot of excuses. He does, which is funny because you wouldn't think the Chargers would have any fans to defend him, but they are. Giants have enough talent to be better. How will one help to fix your coaching? I think when it comes to the Giants coaching staff, a new list came out today about who's gonna be the Giants' next coach. From what it sounds like, the Giants are going to do an extensive search for head coach. If I had to pick, I would like to see Chris Shula get that job. I just think Rams winning culture, pedigree. I think more so than anything, we need a strong-willed and just strong-voiced individual who can write the culture more so than the roster. I'd really prefer a defensive head coach. And an idea that I kind of crossed. Let me catch up to the chat here because I have another little mini little take I want to go on. I'm gonna shit about Italians. Yeah, exactly. Dart's never gonna have a ring either, so I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, Dart's gonna have a ring within 5 years. Come on now, everyone, football fans or not, everybody I meet that hears that I'm a Giants fan, it's like, I love Jackson Dart, Cam Scadaboo. Jackson Dart he'll play the next 20 years. Hopefully for the Giants. God, I'm falling for the rage bait, but I can't help it. They say good or bad class based off intangibles, tools, traits. I don't know if I'm using the same meaning with different words. So no, you're completely right. Hey, that's completely it. Okay, Otis, you have a point, but you're forgetting Herbert has big hands. Also, Hunter, you're getting Kevin Stefanski, and you're going to like it. I wouldn't even be that mad at Kevin Stefanski. Wouldn't love it, but I wouldn't be that mad. I'd probably rather have Kevin Stefanski than a Mike McCarthy. But both of them pale in comparison. By the way, total random thing. If you didn't watch Panthers-Bucks, Panthers very easily could have won this game. They had the ball in the red zone. They tried a stupid flea flicker, and since it was just drenched wet on the field, Rico Dowdle fumbled, so that cost them 3 points, and as you can see, cost them the game. So just another stupid play call. I just would be remiss if I didn't talk about that. Okay. Here's what I want to say about the Giants head coaching search. This will not happen. But if I could pick any coach, any coordinator to become future coach of the New York Giants, I get it. It won't happen. I would love Brian Flores to be repping Big Blue. Now, I know he is in the middle of a lawsuit against the New York Giants, so that makes things a little tough. If that's not a conflict of interest, I don't know what is. But I think he would right the culture, bring a really hard-nosed defensive approach. He would maximize the careers of Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter, and back end of his prime, Brian Burns, who's red hot. He would maximize this defense. He'd bring a ton of culture, and I think on a more realistic note, if the Giants were to hire Brian Flores, okay, I really do think that would be a big just win for this management. I think that this ownership group has been so hung up on not making mistakes and looking good in front of the media, which is ironic because the Giants do the exact opposite. They try and look all squeaky clean in the media, and then Hard Knocks happens, and then the Dan Jones contract, and then everything else falls apart. The Giants are everything but squeaky clean, but yet they're putting on this facade as if they're better than us, right? Better than us, as if they're better than most teams because they're the New York Giants, fifth most valuable franchise. So being able to admit, hey, we made a mistake. We may have used Brian Flores to maximize the Rooney Rule. We may have done that. But we're ready to right the ship. We're ready to right our own wrongs and bring him on as head coach. We made a mistake and we can own that. We have not been good and we're trying to change the way things are ran here. That would be big. That's all I'm going to say. So don't like the draft or trading someone against their wishes. It feels weird if that's how you guys do it. Wait, how so? Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, I still don't like the draft or trading someone against their wishes. It's a bit weird, even if that's how you guys do it. I see the draft is kind of weird. Ethically, it's a little on the fence, but I think, it's fun. It's fun. And, at the end of the day, playing for an NFL franchise is playing for an NFL franchise. And players have, I watched the Elway documentary, players have deferred against going to certain teams before. It's just less likely because now every team is relatively good and valuable. And it's a hard cap league with a collective bargaining agreement. So every team's going to get its share of the loot. I think becoming a starting player on any team, from the Browns to the Seahawks, whichever team, is an honor. So I get it, but I do understand what you're saying. It does toe the line of ethicality a little bit. Hate it when OCs or head coach decide I'm going to get fancy in the red zone when I really need points because I know your team actually you need to get fancy because you can't get anything otherwise. I completely agree. Panthers got way too fancy, and Dave Canales, Bryce Young caught a lot of heat from me today. To be honest, him and Dave Canales, right there. They should both be blamed, at least equally, maybe a little more skewed towards Canales. Really bad performance from the Panthers from top to bottom. I mean, their defense was solid sometimes, but overall, I'm not a fan. Brian Flores and I've been on this train for months. We're the only team that hire a coach in a lawsuit. That's true. Go Raiders. That's true. Pete Carroll's for sure gone, by the way, in case you guys didn't see it. Pete Carroll's for sure gone. Kevin Stefanski is most likely gone. Todd Bowles will be staying, obviously, but nothing has changed. Who else? I didn't even hear anything about Mike McDaniel, so I'd assume he'd stay. I think that's the bulk of the coach news we know. Steelers Ravens are going to take a good look at their staff when one of them loses. So that also will happen. I'll take the NFL draft over the NBA draft, honestly. Completely agree. Again, let me plug my Tanking is for Losers video. I'm sure you guys have seen it, but if you haven't, it's very succinctly put, in my opinion. Brian Burns mentioned go Knowles. There it is. Yep. There it is. Spida. If only the Panthers had him still. I'm sure they're enjoying that second round pick, that ever valuable second round pick. It's kind of weird. Best solution is keep it. Yeah, exactly. It leaves a little bit of parity. Jeez, look at Hay being logical. College, high school system as well, which is sick being a part of that kind of culture. You guys have. I mean, again, if you want to get into the real intrinsic roots of American education and collegiate athletics, it's a slippery slope to go down. I can recognize that. And I think college football as an institution is backwards, and I hate it. One of the main reasons why I don't watch college is because I just hate what goes into college football. There's so much shady stuff, and it just feels like everything is blood money. Most of these schools are public universities, which takes money away from the state. Again, I'm not going to get into the economics of it, but I do agree with you. The system of it isn't far from perfect. I'd say very flawed. Fact is, you're going to get one team that's mid, gets the number 1 overall pick. Yeah, you can't do a lottery. I wish. You can't do a lottery. We've thought about it. You can't do a lottery. It just wouldn't work. I like we have academies to get homegrown players playing for their team and cities and that connection. I think you're in England, right, Hasib? And I do agree. I do agree. But again, it's different with football clubs, because football clubs, and I say football clubs, soccer clubs, if you don't pick up my drift there. But football clubs will raise... I want to say from like very young just through, but you can't really do that with the NFL. There's no New York Giants junior team, although that would be nice, live from East Rutherford, New Jersey. But it's just, I think with England, it's just a lot bigger, I guess. The NFL is a very dense league, so I don't think a grassroots, develop in-house system would work well, and especially because, again, college football is never going anywhere. College football will be a thing until someone figures out how to opt out and still get drafted, but... which the NBA has been trying to do for years, but I do agree with you. It's a different system. It's odd for sure. The thing about firing Tomlin is who are you getting that's better? That's not good coaching. I'd say Tomlin's better than all coaches, maybe except Flores. Still don't know. Yeah, it's a good point. You got the grass is greener on the side you water it. We always say that, so I do agree with you there. Like it's like you gotta think which coach is going to be better. And not a long list. Not a lot of hot coaching candidates this year. Outside of Brian Flores, who I think is the man. I think he's a beast. The politics are in every sport, but college is just in your face. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I like the idea of high school sports. Oh, my bad. As well. Oh, which is sick. Oh, it's sick. My bad. High school football is fun. High school football is cool. I do love high school football. It's kind of annoying when you go to a school nearby Mater Dei, which, by the way, Bryce Young alum. I watched Bryce Young tear up my high school when I was going to it, and I ended up being the first overall pick in the draft, and I still think he's not that great. But again, the thing about high school sports is players are clearly paid, but again, you do what you can. No system is perfect. The nature and cost of sport, NFL isn't as conducive as the type of system as soccer, football. Yeah, I do completely agree. Completely agree. I feel like the funnel is so much smaller, and the injury is such a larger factor in the NFL. I completely agree with you. And considering a lot of football players and just athletes in general play multiple sports coming up, it is, again, it's again a flawed, but the system works. Firing Tomlin, you need to change. You can't be mediocre. Everybody's going to be fine with it. Got to go down to go up at some point. Yeah, I guess if the goal is to tank, then yeah, you should fire Mike Tomlin. But finding his replacement is tough. I think Mike Tomlin would need actually like a really bad season, which it could be next year. It could be in 10. Who even knows? But I will say is Aaron Rodgers can still throw the ball. He can still huck the ball. He plays with poise, and that's not something you can say about Bryce Young. Again, I don't want to keep ripping on Bryce Young. He's clearly had his best season of his career yet. He's taken steps forward. I just wish the on-field product visually just looked better. You know what I mean? Tank is awesome. What do you mean, Hannah? Yeah. Tank is for losers, guys. We've said it before. I'll say it again. College decides who's in the playoffs of the committee, and they're biased as hell. Oh, yeah. Notre Dame got screwed. Now that I think about it, I guess baseball is equivalent to that in the US. Yeah, baseball does do that, but baseball has the minors. Yeah, I guess that's what you're saying. Yeah, baseball has the minors, and you kind of raise them through. But baseball, I feel like baseball is, I don't want to say less physically taxing, especially for pitchers who are just assumed to get hurt. But I mean, in general, it's not a contact sport, so you're a lot more likely to stay healthy through baseball and stick with your investment rather than football. A minor league in football would never work. Rosters are too big to begin with. Getting rid of a coach can really screw over your franchise. I do agree with that. It's a layered conversation. It really is. But yeah, I made my picks, right? I think I did. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we made our picks. I don't know where that came from, but I just want to make sure I made my picks here. Damn it, I didn't. Jeez. All right, well, that's right. When would I? I could have sworn I did, man. Hold on. Let me just see if I made my picks already. I thought I did, but I'm starting to think I didn't. Damn it. Let me see. Oh, I did. Okay, nice. Okay. So I'll make the graphic later, but I did make my picks already. And just for the record, picking these games, I took the Panthers spread and I took the Niners spread. So over 2. Cool. Actually, I took the Panthers plus 2.5 and that paid. So there you go. BYU got screwed. Notre Dame lost to 2 teams in the playoffs, have no good wins. BYU got screwed because that dumbass rule that forces G5 teams into the playoffs. Again, I don't understand the inner workings of collegiate sports as much as I should, but I'm with you. I do hear what you're saying. And did not get screwed. Join a conference, cowards. That's a fair point. That's a fair point. I'm just agreeing with you guys. When college, if you want to hear someone just blindly agree with you, talk to me about college football. I would like you could say that Alabama sucks, and I'd say, yep, that tracks. That tracks. I'd much rather talk about Tulane. You know. Zach Charbonnet looks hilarious under a helmet, by the way. He interviewed SVP. It's great to be able to rely on our defense, 100%. And it's cool that the Seahawks can acknowledge that. I mean, this was a defensive night in both games, but it felt like Seahawks-Niners, mainly because the weather wasn't as much of a factor. Seahawks-Niners was two defenses playing at a very high level, and then Panthers-Bucks was 2 teams that just want this season to end. It really felt like both teams wanted to lose. And I'd say that's my overarching takeaway from these games. Seahawks-Niners was low scoring and not entertaining. However, high effort, good game, just defensive. Panthers-Bucks was a mess, and I hated it, and I was not a fan at all. Qantas Stiggers got drafted after playing in the CFL. Could be more prevalent moving forward. Well, who the hell's Qantas Stiggers? This better not be like some troll. Never heard of the fella. Let me make, because I forgot the little hyphen there. All right, let's get the last name here. It's very, very likely this guy. Oh, there he is. I think I put a V instead of a W. There it is. Well, out of the CFL. Cool. What's his draft info? Wait, where would it be? Overview. Career, maybe news, maybe. Fan-controlled football. How an email, Facebook, and fan-controlled football. Wow, this is probably a hell of a story that I should know. Born the GA. Yeah, I have no college. There you go. Cool. G5 teams deserve to make the playoffs. Hey, if you want the finest of the finest, playoffs go back to 4 teams. The 12-team playoffs is meant for G5 teams, not so mid-P power 4 teams could make it. I agree. Again, I agree. I do think a 12-team playoff is too much. 4 felt like too little. 12 feels like too much. I wish there was a number between 4 and 12 that we could go to. Dang. Sucks. Try watching college games in Alabama. Had an awful game. What would you prefer as American college or NFL ball? NFL for sure. We didn't even talk about college that much in this channel. The college is just the chat, and we played CFB a little bit in the summer, but like, again, I really don't. I don't really. I'm not too bothered to follow college. Once draft season comes around, then yeah, let's watch tape. Let's analyze and study and all that, and be the armchair scouts that can recognize they have little say in the matter. But watching college football in real time, not for me. No thanks. You know that scene in Superbad where he's talking about female anatomy, and he's like, not for me. That's how I feel about college football. I'm like, it's just not my thing. But congrats for Qantas making it out of the Fan Football League. Played a couple of seasons, so that's cool. Hope he makes the roster. Make it 8, I do agree. Woof, okay. Well, fellas, my body's catching up to me. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't think this stream would get to an hour. I really didn't. Also, I tried a little new thumbnail style, so hope you guys like that. I mean, we got a couple new people in here, so I'll take it. But yeah, so I mean, I wish I had more to analyze. To be honest, we have football tomorrow. I don't love Saturday night football, but we're here. It happened. We didn't get Thursday games, so I'm glad we got to get on. As far as these games go, here's what I wanted to bring up. Again, I'm on the West Coast, so the times might look a little wonky to you. I see all these games, right? And then I see the early morning window, and it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know. I definitely don't have it in me for a marathon stream tomorrow. Almost none of these games matter. Outside of Ravens Steelers, we'll be streaming after Ravens Steelers, discussing the whole day. I think what we're going to do, if everyone's on the edge of their seat, I think what we're going to do is tomorrow, we're going to stream the early morning window of games, And that's going to be it. You know what I mean? That's just going to be it. The afternoon, the second slate of games has more games, and, you know, Raiders are playing. We kind of need the Raiders to win that one, but again, if they don't, they don't. But I don't think I'll have it in me to do a 6-hour stream. After one, I already feel like death. So we'll probably get on for Cowboys Giants. If this game becomes unwatchable, then so be it. We'll also be following Saints Falcons because that is also an important game. But outside of that, not too much going on tomorrow. If I said it a couple weeks ago, but again, week 18 is a great opportunity to spend time with loved ones, do something that's not football. Obviously, if you are watching football, tune into the Hunnaball Sunday stream. But if you're good with skipping week 18, if your team's eliminated and or clinched a playoff spot, which is almost every team, take a minute. You know, do something else. Go for a walk. If your girlfriend or partner's mad at you for not making time for them because football dominates your life, then spend some time. You know, quality time for others. All right. How you on the West Coast and support a New York team? You could. My last video kind of explains that, which, by the way, next video coming out sometime next week. I said it was going to come out Monday, the week after. I did not predict to get the just death cold that I've been dealing with. A lot of this video is voiceover work, which is super annoying because I really can't. The last few days, I haven't been able to string together a sentence without coughing. Feel bad for me. But the video will come out. It'll be late. But to answer your question, when I got into football, the Giants won a Super Bowl. Plain and simple. I got into football 2012. Giants won the Super Bowl in 2011. Call me a bandwagon, whatever. Don't care. The Giants suck, and I'm still here. Tomorrow's probably going to be better, hopefully, but I thought these games would be better, so yeah. These were 2 important games. These were 2 out of the 4 important games this week. And not just, like, again, I think the consensus has been these games were kind of a letdown. So I agree. 23, 24 college football playoffs was the first and only time I chose to watch college football. What happened 23, 24? Was that the Scataboo year? That was 2 years ago. Let's see. Oh, this was fun. I did watch this one. The Michael Penix Washington Huskies were electric. This was fun. I remember this. I mean, again, this game wasn't super great, but these top 4 teams were a lot of fun. This last year of the 4 team, these were a lot of fun. I'm with you there, Mahi. We got RJ Bricks here. I feel like this keeps happening, but RJ Bricks joins right as we're about to get off stream. But what's up, RJ? Mander up, or whatever the expression is. Yeah, drop a like. Again, drop a like if you haven't already. It turns into a football. He tried to be a bandwagon, didn't work. Now he's stuck in his life. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Otis is going on another. Maybe those Power 4 teams could win more games or join the G5. They would have dominated. BYU also got blown out at Texas Jam. A lot of acronyms there, Otis, but I'm with you. Vent it out. This is good stuff. Mike Penn mentioned. Yeah, Mike Penix. I don't care if it's meant to be like March Madness for the 16 seed get blown out. Most likely they should get a chance. I just think 12's too many. I'm not against giving some love to the G5 teams or whatever. Generic 5 or whatever it is, but again, I think the college football institution, because it's not centralized, just gets really messy really quickly. And Michael you guys know who I'm talking about. Michael McCaffney, you guys know who I'm talking about. The really good YouTuber has like 200 times the subs that I do. Michael McLennan or McDonald, whatever the hell his name is, made a really great video about the future of college sports, and I think that's a much more articulate and inspired way to discuss it. Is Penix injured or bench for Cousins? That's a good question. It's a really good question. I actually don't know the answer to it. It's a really outstanding question. Penix is on IR, so he's underwent full reconstructive surgery. Yeah, so he's been hurt. Wow, I feel bad for not knowing that. But yeah, I do feel like Kirk has done a decent job with this Falcons gig, considering he's had a lot of time to recover off that torn Achilles. We all know that takes a while to heal, especially when you're an older quarterback. As you can see, the Falcons are on a 3-game tear. And there you go, most fashionable rivals featuring Bryce Young. That's how he played, too. That's how he looked on the field. Damn, I should have used this picture for the thumbnail. Damn it. Except Niners didn't win, so whatever. Also, really quick, didn't love the Niners rivalry jerseys. I'm one that tends to lean, I like the rivalry jerseys. I appreciate any alt uniform because that's just a cool way to generate revenue and improve the on-field aesthetic, but didn't care for the Niners alts tonight. And also, the Seahawks rivalry jerseys, while I like them on field, Not a good jersey to buy and then just wear as a fan. I saw a fan wearing it and it looked really bad. It looks good in pads when you're on the field playing with other football players, but among fans, it doesn't look great. Woof. Why Penix not rest in power? Because I forgot that he was hurt. That's the reason. I forgot that he was hurt. We'll move Penix to rest in power, but to be fair, I mean, it'd be a sizable upgrade for Mike Penix. And by the way, Jared Goff, it's just sticking right there. Jared Goff is locked in rest of offseason and pretty bad. He's in the Quinn Ewers tier. Okay, but Michael McCalvey, thank you. As you can see, I'm not my sharpest, and I'm going backwards hat. If you're just joining us, by the way, new year, new haircut. My barber was drunk, so there it is. This is not how it normally looks, but we'll stick with it. But yeah, fellas, so that's all I got, and my head is pounding. So I'm gonna keep pounding. Go Panthers! I'm gonna go now. But I appreciate you guys stopping by. It was tough not streaming on Thursday. I missed you guys. So I appreciate you guys stopping by. You know, drop a like if you haven't already. It turns into a football. And that's going to be it for me. But, you know, if you want to watch football with someone tomorrow, we'll be here. Hunnaball. Hay is telling me to go to sleep, and I do everything Hay tells me, so I'm going to do it. Love the cut. Thank you, RJ. So, yeah. That's all I got. I got Josh Dobbs written on this little piece of paper here. I don't know why. But Jared Goff, Quinn Ewers in the same tier. Quinn's way better. There it is. There it is. All right. Before I throw up a lung on this stream, I'm going to call it. You guys have a sick night. Rest up. Happy New Year. And, you know, don't read the news. I got off Twitter and got back on today for some reason, and it made me feel considerably worse about my life and the future of this nation. So, you know, don't go on Twitter and stay out of the news. Sports are fun. Put your head in the sand. And if you don't live in the U.S., score. Good night, everybody. Good night, Stoner Cat. Hey, everybody else who's joined. I don't want to single anyone out, but, you know. Anyways, see you guys tomorrow. Have a kick-ass night. Hunnaball.